Today, I'd like to talk about the importance of giving and the impact that giving to others can have on us. The psychologist Kristen Neff has studied this whole concept of giving and the effect that it can have on us. And she came to the conclusion that there are parts of our personality that we might not be satisfied with, but we accept it as we try to improve. So there are certain things we genuinely might not like about ourselves. We realize we have certain limitations, certain faults in terms of giving, in terms of our generosity, in terms of our love for others. And the important thing that you said was not to put ourselves down, to realize, yes, I do have limitations. And it's okay that I have limitations. I want to work, certainly, to expand those limitations, to become a better person, to become more generous, more caring for others. But it's going to take time, and I have to realize that. And I can't be too harsh on myself because of that. Uh, and part of that, I think, is recognizing that all people have challenges. Sometimes we can think, well, I'm the only one who has that challenge, but not true. Many people have those challenges and different challenges than we do. And we all struggle with challenges. We all try to become better, improve on our actions. But it's not easy. It takes time, and we must be patient with ourselves. One of the examples that we find in the Book of Joy that Bishop Tutu quotes is the fact that when Roy was first in prison, and of course we know he was in prison wrongfully for so many years and eventually was cleared, he did not talk for 4 years. And you can kind of understand that, why he didn't talk for 4 years. I mean, if I was in prison wrongfully, I certainly wouldn't be talking for 4 years either. I'd be very upset. But then he heard a man crying in the cell next to his. And that cry, those tears, that hurt, that pain, literally touched his soul and changed his attitude. And he reached out to that man and he tried to help him. And that act of reaching out changed Roy. He became more open to caring about others. And as a result of that caring about others, he became more joyful. He became happier. He became more fulfilled. And in experiencing that joy, he talks about this kind of tradition that developed where he was on death row, that when an inmate would be going to their execution, when they'd be going to get executed either by a lethal injection, by the gas chamber, by the electric chair, different methods were used over the years. When they were going to die, the other inmates would bang on their bars as a sign of solidarity. They were saying to that man who was going to his death, "We will be with you. We will be with you to the end of your life." And that experience stuck with Roy, that sense of solidarity, of caring for others. When you think about it, really, giving is the key element in all religious traditions. We think of the word zakat in Islam, the importance of the zakat, of giving to others. We think of the tzedakah in Judaism, literally meaning justice. that when I give to others, what I am doing is really an act of justice. I am making things right in the world. I'm making things good in the world. I'm creating a better world through my giving. Dana in Hinduism and Buddhism, those acts of giving, dana. And in Christianity, we use the term charity. We give in love to others because we are all one. We're all sisters and brothers. We're all part of the family of God. Two researchers looking into these issues, David McClelland, Carol Kishnet, they found something which is truly remarkable. When I read this, I was like really taken aback. It was saying just thinking about generosity significantly increases the protective antibody salivary immunoglobulin A, which is a protein used by the immune system. So just even the very thought is creating this protein that helps our immune system, helps us actually fight against disease. Amazing, imagine that. It's truly amazing. Just thinking about generosity, not even doing a charitable act or a kind act, but just the very thought of giving to others and caring about others and thinking about generosity in a significant way helps us in a physical state. Elizabeth Dunn, studying this issue, also comes up with this, that people experience greater happiness when they spend money on others. Imagine that. We often think of, well, I'm not going to spend my money on other people. I want to keep it for myself. But actually, the people become happier when they spend their money on other people. What does it do? It actually decreases blood pressure in older adults when they are assigned to spend money on others and not on themselves. Of course, psychologists like to do all these experiments, and some of the times they say, well, these experiments are a little extreme. But here we have an experiment where you're assigned to spend money on other people. And of course, you would think, well, I don't want that assignment. I'd rather, have the assignment to spend money on myself. But spending money on other people decreases your blood pressure, which of course is going to be helpful in reducing strokes and heart attacks. So you can see how these acts of generosity, these acts of caring, which all religions advocate for, actually have a beneficial physical effect on our bodies. One of the great examples of that is one of the friends of Bishop Tutu, Jim Doty. Jim was a very wealthy man, did very well in the stock market, had a fortune in excess of $85 million. So Jim, when he had all this money, made a pledge. He said, I am going to give $35 million of my fortune to charities to help other people. And he said, this is going to be my commitment. So Jim made that pledge. But then, as the vagaries of the stock market sometimes happen and lead us in different directions, as we know, the ups and downs, the 85 million was reduced to 35 million. So Jim's advisor said, hey, Jim, you made this promise, you had 85 million, now you're down to 35 million. No way do you have to keep that promise. You made it when you had more money. You can forget about that promise. You can give a smaller amount, but to give away all your money, that would be kind of crazy. Jim thought about it. He said, no, I made a promise. I was going to give away the 35 million. That's all I have, but I'm going to give that away. And Jim gave that away. And he results. And he points out the result of that, this life, was that he became happier. You might say, this is nuts. The guy doesn't have any money. He's bankrupt. But actually, in the giving of the money, in the keeping of the promise, he became a happier person. all of these examples show us quite profoundly and in a very real sense the importance of generosity.